Hi, this is Dan Jones. I'm here at BCE with Derek Johnson from Samsung Networks in the US, and we're here to talk about 5G. Hi, Derek.
Hey, how are you doing, Dan?
Good, thanks.
Good, thanks for having me.
Well, everyone's very familiar, well, hopefully, if they read the site, they're very familiar with Samsung's work in millimeter wave. So can we kind of start by talking a little bit about how millimeter wave is impacting 5G?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, we've been developing millimeter wave technology for 6 or so years now. And have just gotten through some rigorous field trials, particularly with Verizon, also with AT&T and some other operators. And so, we found that, again, I think we went in, everyone was a little bit skeptical about the technology, but we have been overwhelmingly impressed with the performance levels. And so, what was once, I think, thought as only being able to propagate a couple hundred feet, we found that we can do gigabit level performance at 2,000 feet, and that we can cover multi-dwelling buildings, up to the 19th floor, et cetera. So we've been really pleased with the technology in terms of beamforming and its capabilities to really kind of get through dense foliage and provide service levels for non-line of sight.
Great. Now, so what does that mean in terms of the Verizon trials? I mean, can we talk a little bit about the trials and kind of the, obviously they've got the 19th floor. You're supplying like an end-to-end system to them. How does that work exactly?
Sure, yeah, so we have the solution that we're now currently deploying with Verizon for their first commercial launch site, which is in Sacramento, it was recently just certified by the FCC, and so that the part that was certified by the FCC includes a 5G radio or access unit. It's a small cell. It's about 20 pounds, about 13 inches high. It's a very compact unit that can go on kind of light poles, sides of buildings, et cetera. And then we have both an outdoor and an indoor home router that will provide the kind of 5G fixed service for their customers.
Right. And your first commercial launch with Verizon is going to be in Sacramento, California. What are some of the characteristics of that market?
Yeah, so it's I'm not deeply familiar with Sacramento,
right.
But again, it's similar to kind of Northern California. It's fairly hilly, a lot of foliage, et cetera. And so I think Verizon, with their partnership with Sacramento, and obviously they've got some decent fiber assets, and so we're going through the siting requirements now and kind of the overall design and deployment. And so so it's going to be an interesting. It'll be an interesting test bed for the first commercial launch.
Great. Now, we talked quite a bit about Verizon, but you're working with plenty of other carriers around the world. Can you give us a little rundown of that?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, most of for Samsung Networks overall, we've been talking with all the major operators here in the U.S. Our primary business in the U.S. is with Sprint and Verizon. But we're also obviously talking to AT&T and T-Mobile too about our solutions, everything from what we've got in terms of 4G LTE solutions, but also with 5G. And then, in other markets, we've got customer relationships in Europe. Definitely not, an incumbent provider in that particular market,
right,
more of a challenger. In Asia, you may have seen we did a lot of business to set up a greenfield LTE network with Reliance Jio, one of the largest greenfield LTE network deployments around. And then our two lead markets are Korea and Japan. Again, right. We're kind of in what we like to characterize as kind of data intensive markets, where a lot of the operators are kind of on the bleeding edge of technology, and that's where we kind of pick and choose where we do business.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.